You know, in almost every conversation about AI, it feels like we're stuck on one single idea: what we gain versus what we lose. Productivity's up, but jobs are down. We get more efficient, but human roles, they get replaced. But what if we're measuring the wrong thing entirely? For the effective professional, the real question goes deeper. Today, we're exploring a source that forces us to look inward. It's called the AI comfort trap. And it starts by asking this really unsettling question. What if the biggest risk from AI isn't what it does to your job, but what its incredible convenience makes you stop doing inside your own head? What if the real danger is the quiet disappearance of the very skills that make you valuable in the first place? And that brings us right to our first section, the unseen trade-off. I mean, the public conversation is all about the upside, isn't it? It's basically a highlight reel of everything AI can do.
Right. But we're not just here for the highlight reel. We have to look at the full picture, the real cost-benefit analysis. And that means we need to start by admitting just how tempting all those gains really are before we pull back the curtain and see what's hidden underneath.
And let's be totally clear, the gains are real. No doubt about it. AI promises faster work, a huge boost in productivity, and outputs that look incredibly smart and polished. It's a powerful pitch because, well, on the surface, it's all true.
And that's exactly what makes this so dangerous. We see the obvious stuff, the speed, the efficiency, and we think, sign me up. But the real story, the one that actually matters, is what's happening just out of sight.
Exactly. The danger here isn't some monster banging at the door. It's more like a Trojan horse. It doesn't show up looking scary. It shows up disguised as a gift. It feels like help. It feels like the best assistant you've ever had. And because of that, we don't just open the door. We wheel it right into the center of our lives, so grateful for the convenience. And that simple act of welcoming it in leads us straight to our second section, the convenience trap. This is where we start to unpack that shift, the moment we go from just using a tool to actually becoming dependent on it. And we look at how that convenience literally starts to rewire how we think. I mean, just look at the before column. Our work was full of friction, right? Writing anything took forever. Thinking was this tough, lonely process, an uphill climb. We had to manually find all the pieces and put them together to make a decision. And now look at the with AI column. All that friction, it's just gone. It's been smoothed over, replaced by this easy, assisted flow. It's like we went from pushing a giant boulder up a hill to just gently rolling a ball down it. And let's be honest, who wouldn't choose to go downhill? Because, as this source points out, that's the trade. That wonderful feeling of convenience comes at a price. It replaces our own cognitive effort. And that's the hidden cost.
It's the perfect way to put it. All that friction we were just talking about, that is the cognitive effort. It's the mental version of lifting weights at the gym. What we're doing now is trading our gym membership for a chauffeured car. Sure, it's a lot more comfortable, but our muscles are slowly starting to waste away.
So what does that actually look like day to day? Well, you stop struggling with hard problems, but the struggle is where the breakthroughs happen. You stop exploring a topic deeply because the AI just hands you a nice, neat summary. And maybe the most important one, you stop thinking from scratch. That intimidating blank page is where real originality comes from, and we're finding ways to skip that step entirely.
Yeah, it's like we're becoming architects who only know how to pick from a catalog of pre-made houses, instead of knowing how to actually design a building from the ground up. The foundation just isn't ours anymore.
Which brings us to the inevitable result in Section 3, the hidden atrophy. Atrophy is such a perfect word for this. It's not some sudden dramatic injury. It's the slow, quiet weakening of a muscle that comes from one simple thing: not using it. And the muscle we're talking about here is our own ability to think critically. And this slide just lays out that shift so clearly. Your core value as a professional, your job, used to be your ability to personally analyze information, structure an argument, and reason your way to a conclusion. That was the work. But now, look at the other side. The AI is doing those exact things. It suggests the ideas, it structures the argument, it even does the reasoning. And our role, it shifts from being the creator to just being the curator. Or even worse, just being the last person in the chain who clicks approve. And the source maps out this whole journey as a 3-step process, and it is a very, very slippery slope. It all starts with assisted thinking.
Which of course feels amazing. It's like having a co-pilot, a brilliant partner. You really can't see a downside.
But that comfort slowly, quietly slides into dependent thinking. And all of a sudden, the thought of trying to write a report without the AI, it feels overwhelming, maybe even impossible.
And that dependency leads right to the final and most dangerous stage, reduced thinking.
This is the point where the atrophy is complete. You don't even try to do the heavy mental lifting yourself anymore. You just outsource it by default. It's become your new normal. And the symptoms of this are so subtle that we just don't see them happening. You start to question what the AI gives you less and less because, hey, it's good enough, and pushing back on it takes real effort.
You stop checking the sources or validating the data because you just start to trust that the system got it right. And every single time you do that, you make that dependency a little bit stronger. It's a feedback loop where convenience chips away at your judgment, one tiny choice at a time.
This brings us to the absolute heart of the argument in Section 4, the passive peril.
Because the argument here is that we've been focused on completely the wrong risk. The ultimate danger isn't the rise of some super intelligent machine, it's the decline of our own human engagement. It's our own passivity.
Think about it. When you outsource your thinking, you're trading away the very skills that make you an expert. First to go is depth, the ability to see past the obvious surface-level answer. Then you lose judgment, that gut feeling, that intuition for what's really important and what's just noise. And finally, you lose independent thinking, your actual capacity to come up with a perspective that is uniquely yours. You're trading your expertise for efficiency. And it all comes down to this one really terrifying conclusion.
You are no longer in control of the thinking.
That's it.
You might be the one who physically hits the send button, but the real intellectual work, the reasoning, the structuring, the creating, it isn't yours anymore. You've become a human operator for a machine's output.
And that leads to the final, really chilling takeaway of this whole section. You become replaceable, not because the AI gets so much better than you, but because you stop being distinct. If your entire process is guided by the same tool that everyone else is using, what is left that is uniquely you? You haven't really been replaced by a machine. You've just become a generic human interface for one. Okay, so after all of that, the big question is, what do we do? And the source is very clear on this. The answer is not to just throw away the technology. Becoming a Luddite is not a winning career move. The solution is internal. It demands a total change in our mindset. And that brings us to our final section, the conscious shift. And really, the source shows us two very different futures, two paths we can take. The first one is the passive path. This is the easy road, the default setting. You just accept the outputs, you use AI to get quick answers, and you do everything you can to reduce your own effort.
But there's another way, the active path. This is a deliberate choice. It means you treat AI not like an oracle that has all the answers, but like a sparring partner. You challenge its outputs. You use it to explore new ideas, not just to confirm old ones. You're using the tool to make your own thinking better, not to do your thinking for you.
And this completely redefines what it means to have a competitive advantage now. The real advantage isn't about having access to the tool anymore. Everybody has that. It's all about how you use it. It is about using AI to amplify your thinking, not to do your work. It's the difference between using a lever to lift something heavy and using a crutch to hold yourself up. So the stakes here are incredibly high, and it really is a binary choice. One path leads to you becoming a commodity, just another person doing the same thing as everyone else. But the other path, that one leads to a more powerful, more valuable version of you. It's the same tool, but it takes you to two completely opposite destinations. In the end, the technology itself is neutral. It's neither good nor bad. It can be an incredibly powerful tool to expand our minds, or it can be a very comfortable replacement for doing any real thinking at all. And so the final question isn't really about the AI, is it? It's about you. Will you use it as a tool, or will you let it become your replacement? The choice, for right now at least, is still ours to make.